Hey, how you doing? My name is Josh Nelson. I live in Knoxville, Tennessee, and my phone number is 865-919-0154. Feel free to call or text anytime. I had a dream on July 31st, 2019 about the Rapture. And I wrote it down, and I have a handy-dandy diary, journal, whatever you want to call it. And I wrote my latest entry today about a dream I had yesterday. It's got some stuff in there that doesn't really pertain to other things, but it's got dream here and then, just stuff that's going on in my life today. So basically, just wanted you to know, that none of this is something that I planned. I just write down things that happen in my life as they come in. It's not really, it's like once a week kind of thing. But today, I had a dream, and I wanted to share it because I've been watching YouTube, and there's a lot of people sharing their rapture dreams, and I thought it was probably in good faith to share mine as well. So yesterday I dreamed a dream where I was driving through a road with woods on each side, and there was a fog, and as I was driving, the fog got thicker and thicker until it was so dense, like you couldn't even see your hand in front of your face, and it quit being a fog and turned into more like a smoke. And I was just driving down the road, creeping pretty slow, and all of a sudden there was fire everywhere. So I was just engulfed in flames basically all around me. And I live in Knoxville, and couple of years ago there was a forest fire in Gatlinburg, and that's kind of what my dream seemed like, is I was just driving down a road in Gatlinburg, and all of a sudden there was forest fire that I didn't know anything about, and then I was in the middle of it. And I think that's, I want to say, foreshadowing of the current events or climate in America. And I just want everybody to be ready for something bad to happen in the next couple of months. Prepare yourselves if you haven't already. Anyway, to the dream that started all of this dream research and looking into. I'll hold it here so you can see that it's not exactly biblical. It is just a dream that I had, and you can interpret it any way you want to, but I just wanted to share it. Basically, the dream started out, everyone was in heaven. And by everyone, I mean, I didn't get the you levitate and then you're in heaven. I got we started out, the rapture had happened, and everyone was in a waiting room or a lobby, and there were two director angels. I don't know if you've ever went to college and had the tour, but it was like two tour guides were just telling everybody about all the things that were going to happen now, and they had been preparing for this for a long time. And you could tell that the angels had never done this before, and they weren't practiced, and they were just kind of like, well, heaven's a lot of fun, we've been here a long time, this is what you can expect. And I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Big Lebowski, but that was kind of the vibe the guy in charge had. He was real laid back, and he was just like, you can do kind of whatever you want. It's a great place. But we started out, we were eating. It was a big feast, like you would think a Thanksgiving feast, or like a table, huge table. Only 20 people per room. There were a lot of rooms, and 20 people per room with two instructors. And we started out eating. And the angels explained that in heaven, you could eat, but you didn't have to eat. All the food tastes really good. He went on to say, because I'm married, and I said, well, what about being married? Which is, something I got raptured while I was married. Am I still married? He explained that there is no marriage in heaven. And this is where it doesn't really get biblical, but this is what happened in my dream, and this is how the guy explained it to me. That all the people in heaven, there were no diseases or nothing, so you could just go around having sex with anybody if you wanted to, but you didn't have to. It was like a choice. Everything was just free choice kind of in heaven, which take that with a grain of salt because I'm married and I care about my wife, and I just thought that was weird that we wouldn't be together in heaven. So skip over that part because that's just part of my entry. So I wrote that down, and I wrote this down like at 9:32 in the morning, which I wake up at like 9, so I wrote this down almost immediately. But take that with a grain of salt. I asked if everyone that I knew or that I loved had made it to heaven in the rapture. And this is where it starts getting kind of weird. The angel told me that my friend Scott, I'm not going to change any of the names because they're real people and I hope they don't get mad, but this is my dream and it's written down, so there's no point in changing it now. You can see it. That my friend Scott is like a brother to me. I've known him since, we were kids. And my dad did not get raptured, which was, kind of weird. My dad's a Christian, but Scott's not, so that made sense. Anyway, I asked if I could contact them, and the guy pulled out a phone. The Big Lebowski head angel guy just handed me like an iPhone, and I called their number. And I talked to Scott first, and he said that he realized that the rapture had happened, and he was going to repent and become a Christian and live out the next 7 years in the tribulation and see me when it was all over with. I was like, great. I talked to my dad, and he is a little bit more skeptical. So anyway, he decided that did not happen, and there was no way that the rapture could have happened, and he didn't buy it, and it was all a big scam, which, a lot of people thinks that, even stuff we see on videos on YouTube, we're just like, well, that's made up. So I could see how he felt that way, but this was last year anyway. So I asked the angel, I said, is there anything I can do? Can I go back and talk to him in person right here? So I talked to him. He said that it was risky. So it was a chance that I wouldn't be able to make it back in. And I said, it's my dad. I've got to try. So basically I went back to try to convince my dad that the rapture had happened. And I went back to my dad's house. I was just, like I was started out in the dream, I was just teleported kind of to like a banquet room. I just was immediately in my dad's bathroom like I'm in now, basically, but it was his, not mine. So I was just standing there in the bathroom, and my dad's bedroom was next to me. I knew my dad was in there. So he was asleep. It was nighttime. And back then I was mowing yards. I did lawn care and landscaping, and I had checks in my wallet that were not deposited in my bank because I'd been raptured with money in my wallet, and I came back with my wallet. So I started depositing checks on my phone, which I had, to my dad's account. So I laid out all the checks on the counter, and I was just kind of taking pictures of them and sending them to his bank account. And I was doing that because he was going to need it because, he's got to live through the tribulations. So I'm doing this, and I can hear my dad get up, and I go and I hide in his shower. And he had a pull curtain, like a lot of showers have curtains. I don't have one. I've just got the glass thing. But he heard rustling around in his bathroom, and he came to investigate it, I guess. So whenever he was there, let's see, where am I? I started depositing checks, and he was asleep. I heard him wake up, and he started towards the bathroom I was in. I hid in the shower, and as he opened the door, I had moved the curtain so that he couldn't see me, and he looked right at the curtain moving, and he saw the checks, but he never could see me or hear me. And I guess that was part of it's risky. You can go back and try to communicate, but you can't, like I was a ghost, basically. So at this point, he realizes what's going on, and that the rapture did happen. That was all the proof he needed, I guess. And I left. I don't know how I left, but I wasn't teleported into the banquet room. I'll try to describe it to you as best I can. It's kind of silly. If you've ever seen a football stadium, like a really big one, like walls that go way up, and then like a ticket booth with thousands of people like funneling into a ticket booth. So it was walls that went up higher than you could see, right? And it was just a huge wall, and then there was a gate. And it wasn't like a iron gate with pearls or anything. It was like a football or an airport line where like people were just kind of funneling into like a sectional, thing with the ropes off. Like it was all that. And it was just thousands of people going in to one funneling like ticket booth, really. And let's see if I can figure it out where I'm at. Lucy Wetherington, who's a woman from my church, she's great, she won't mind, was at the gate, and it was like a checkout at an airport, and she had 4 eyes. And 2 smaller ones under her eyes, which made sense because she wears 2 pairs of glasses. She has like reading glasses and up close glasses. It's wild. But anyway, when I say 2 eyes, they were like right here under her eyes, and they were smaller. They're like half the size of regular eyes, and I don't know what that was about, but she had extra eyes in heaven as a ticket booth taker for people to get in. Anyway, she talked with me. She told me I couldn't go back to heaven, and that I would have to go back to earth for the 7 years of tribulation. And I was very sad. So I didn't get to go back. And the Bible talks about there will be 2 major prophets, and I think it's 144,000 people that are here to try to save as many people as they can. So I don't know if I'm one of those or if I get left behind. But anyway, in this dream, that was kind of what happened. I had to go back. So the first thing that happened was I was just kind of walking down a street near my house, which there are no shipping container warehouses near my house. But if you've ever seen those shipping containers on the beach or where a big ship like drops them off and they crane them and they stack them up, it was just one of those, but it wasn't a shipyard. It was just all land and trucks went in and out all the time. But they had them stacked up pretty high. And when the earthquake happened, earthquake hit the shipping container warehouse, and the containers fell and killed lots of people. So this was tribulation times at this point. And a huge earthquake happened, and all the containers just kind of fell in every direction, and all the workers there were just getting annihilated. And it's a lot gruesome. I'll try to spare you the details, but I've always had pretty graphic and gruesome details in my dreams. A lot of people would, if you dreamed the average dream I dream, you would call it a nightmare. I've had pretty horrific dreams my whole life. So for me, this wasn't a big deal. Let's see, there was war everywhere. All right, so I left the shipping container place and I walk because I'm walking. For whatever reason, I just get manifested or teleported here. And this time I have a body. I can actually see and talk to people. There were wars between countries and civil war. And this is interesting because I think my wife just got home. I'm trying to do this in private. So I think when the Bible talks about wars and rumors of wars, I interpret this to mean that rumors of wars are civil wars. And I think that America might be on the edge of one of these now. At any rate, that's why I figured this couldn't wait. So I saw an armored helicopter. I'm going to try to wrap this up quick. And the armored truck... Hang on, I'm busy. I'll be right back. Shooting at each other, just driving around. One of the men in the truck had killed a military leader, and the guy in the helicopter were mad about it. So basically there was a helicopter and there was gunfire towards like an armored truck, big one, like an 18-wheeler sized armored vehicle. And there was gunfire exchanging back and forth, driving, and the truck driver, whoever was in charge of this thing, was Fast and the Furious style, around turns and all sorts of stuff. But I was up on a hill, and they were like a valley and then another hill. And I could see them coming around the other hill, and the helicopter was 100 feet, 50 feet from them, like real close, exchanging gunfire the whole time. And they pulled down into the valley or a parking lot or whatever, and I saw it. And the truck... the people just got out and the helicopter landed, and all the people got out and they just shot each other until there was only 1 or 2 people left. And it was basically, there wasn't just unrest between people, there was unrest in the military. And I thought that was pretty cryptic. I don't know. But I didn't expect, anything like that ever before. Anyway, everyone got out. They all shot each other. Almost everyone died. Me and a few other people decided that we would walk door to door and try to continue to convince people to be Christians, since terrible things were happening everywhere. But at this point, it was pretty much too late. The neighborhood that I lived in was pretty much empty. Everybody had either been raptured or killed by the earthquake and the wars. I think I came back not immediately, but sometime in the middle of the rapture. Anyway, or after the tribulation, sorry. Me and others decided we would have tried to save people before. The moral of the story is to save as many people as we can while there's still time, y'all. So that's the moral of this story, is the end might be near. There's a lot of rapture stories on the internet, and they're just happening more and more. And this dream happened last year, over a year ago. Today is the 27th of August of 2020, so I waited a long time to do this, and it wasn't until I started looking into it that I realized that a lot of people were having dreams, not like this, but rapture dreams. So I hope this helps everybody. I left my phone number at the beginning of the video, so if you want to call or ask questions, feel free. I didn't do this for any kind of publicity stunt or, to get Insta famous or whatever kids are doing these days. I don't even use the internet, so you can't really even email me. I'm old, so I'm 35. I just don't use technology a lot because I used to mow grass and I'm not good with it. So there probably won't be any views on this because I don't have an account or a channel or subscribe or whatever. So just ask me questions personally. I'm not going to respond if you enter something in the bubble or whatever below. So thank you. Have a great day. God bless.